when I look at, I think we're having a little issue with your volume, Jeff. I don't know if it's being obstructed or not.
There you go. Is that better?
One more time.
Is that better?
Yeah. So
Okay.
sometimes, like when you look at people like fighters in general, there's one thing that stands out on the record where people go, wait a minute, that's their coming out party. Like this is when like they really leveled up and became who it is they were, they were en route to becoming. And on your record, that person, it took place in the WEF, and it was Forrest Griffin. I remember watching that fight, listening to it, but when I rewatch it years later, my opinion of it is a little different than what it was when I first remembered it. What do you recall about you and Forrest Griffin in your bout and your feelings about it?
Well, I mean, at the time, I got like heat exhaustion in this fight. And so they did it. I just remember them doing it. Like I felt I won the fight. And then we went into an overtime. And in the overtime, he just kicked my ass. Like, for that. It was like, and then I remember like just not being able to even make it back to the locker room. Not from being beat up, but just from the heat exhaustion. I remember we got back in the shower. They put me in the shower for like 10, 15 minutes. I couldn't open my eyes. I couldn't like lift my finger. I was still in my shorts and my gloves. I couldn't move. And then it just something like the temperature got below a certain point and I was, okay, everything's normal. I remember we went out to like a restaurant afterwards and all this stuff with the guys. I was just disappointed in the fight, but I felt like I'd worked out hard, like cardio workout, but didn't feel like I was like that tired. I hadn't, I could like, I can go fight again. And then I looked, when I look at the fight on the film, I thought, man, I really won all 3 rounds.
I thought so too.
Like I took him down a bunch of times. I kept standing us up. I kept taking him down. Like, I didn't do much. I didn't do any damage really. I mean, I was trying to hit him. I didn't just hold him, but there was like no damage at all to either one of us during the fight. But like I absolutely controlled the fight. It was like
did you think the referee was a little slanted against you and his style of fighting that you employed?
I mean, it's just one of the local guys. I mean, sorry about that. He's just a local guy, local hero, like Forrest Griffin. He was Athens, Georgia, and his home crowd. And I think that, I mean, you don't like to say that played into it, but I mean, I think it was pretty obvious that
you were in like dominant positions working, and the referee would just stand you up arbitrarily for like no reason whatsoever. When like, I don't know. I got and then here let's look at the other factors. Jamie Levine, we've talked about him several times on this podcast. He was a promoter for the WEF. What was your relationship like with Jamie Levine? What are your personal feelings about him?
Well, I just most of it's just all the stuff I've heard, like none of it good. He did this and that, but Dan Lambert owned American Top Team, and Dan like supplied him with a lot of fighters, and I think helped him out like financially or made it like cost effective for him to have our fighters on the card. So like I don't think he would ever he wouldn't want to make Dan angry. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think Levine had anything to do with me not getting the decision in that fight. But yeah, his track record, I guess, speaks for itself.
Did you hear the the judges' scorecards? It was 13-8, 12-4, and then something inaudible. Like, I don't know what scoring system they applied to your fight for it to even go into overtime. But a 13-8 and 12-4 needing an overtime period, I don't even know what that means.
No, I don't know. What's a 12-4? Like
I have no idea.
This isn't baseball. Like I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, there's so many red flags about that fight. Like you said, it's his hometown. The referee standing up. Like to me, it's like, that's not his coming out party. Unfortunately, it's Jeff. I thought you got robbed. Let's move on to Tim Sylvia.